What is up, interwebs? Big Lou here, coming at you with another movie review. This time I went to go see The Hitman's Bodyguard. Now, this movie is something that I've been looking forward to seeing for a number of months, and since I first saw the trailers. This is my exact kind of comedy. I love comedies that are funny action movies or dramas with humor in it. I'm not a real big fan of like straight up comedy, so this one was right up my alley. It's an action comedy starring Ryan Reynolds, Samuel L. Jackson, Gary Oldman, Elodie Young, and Salma Hayek, and an almost uncountable number of Slovakian-style henchmen. And it's exactly what you'd expect from an R-rated action comedy starring Ryan Reynolds and Samuel L. Jackson. There's not a whole lot of plot and a lot of motherfuckers. The number of motherfuckers that Samuel L. Jackson says in this movie made me blush. And I say a lot of motherfuckers. That's probably the last one I'm going to say in this review, just because it's making me uncomfortable. No, it's really not. I don't care about that. Anyway, I had a lot of fun with this movie. It was very entertaining. The chemistry between Samuel L. Jackson and Ryan Reynolds was the core of what worked for this movie. Their banter back and forth was over the top and hilarious. I don't know how much of it was scripted and how much of it was just them riffing. I'm hoping that a lot of it was just them riffing, because that means when the DVD comes out, we'll have a lot of outtakes and alternate versions of the scenes. And I'm really looking forward to seeing a lot of the ones they didn't use in the movie. The basic plot of this movie is simply that Ryan Reynolds is a AAA rated security officer with Interpol. There's a running joke throughout the whole movie that he made up the AAA security rating. There's no such thing as a AAA rating, but that's never really confirmed. It's just kind of a thing that goes throughout the movie, and it's to great humorous effect. Beginning of the movie, he loses one of his clients, and when I say loses one of his clients, I mean headshot through the window of an airplane. Right out the gate, we're off to the races with headshots and MF bombs. So, fast forward several years, he's no longer AAA rated because, well, if you're AAA rated and you lose a client, you lose that rating, whether it's something that he gave himself or not. He is charged with bringing the world's greatest assassin, played by Samuel L. Jackson, from the prison where he's being held to the World Security Council, World Court, The Hague, whatever you want to call it, to testify against Gary Oldman, who is playing this insanely evil and brutal Eastern European dictator. And I forget exactly where they say he's from. Belarus, I think, but I could be wrong. In IMDb, it just says Eastern European dictator. And that's it. That's the plot of the movie, and he just has to get him there, and it's the journey of what happens to them while they're en route, and it is action-packed, hilarious, and the body count in this movie from the seemingly unending amount of henchmen that are after them is a throwback to, like, the old Commando and Rambo, like, not the serious Rambo, like, you know, Rambo 3 Rambo, with all of the never-ending magazine clips and just the henchmen, and it's not as bloody as I thought it was going to be. It's definitely violent, but there's not a lot of gore in it, which was very cool. There's definitely some blood, but it's not like, you know, blood spurting onto the camera in Game of Thrones style or anything like that. So, but it is well deserving of its R rating. Salma Hayek in this movie is hilarious. She is all tatted up, cleavage down, just foul mouth, spitfire, badass, outstanding performance from Salma Hayek in this movie, and really stole the show for me. Obviously, there's not going to be everything glowing about this movie. It was predictable almost to a humorous amount. You could almost count the beats in which things were going to happen, and then they would happen. So there was no depth of plot lines. There was no twists and turns. It was exactly what you would expect from this type of a movie. But I was okay with that because it was still very, very entertaining to watch. Elodie Yung is one of my new favorite female actresses. She's gorgeous and she's a badass. If you haven't seen Daredevil season 2, she plays Elektra and she is awesome in that role. She is lethal and brutal and just gorgeous and the total package. She's awesome in this movie. I like the chemistry that she has with Ryan Reynolds. But they didn't take full advantage of the fact that she is a badass and that she can do some of the action stuff. I really would have liked to have seen her be able to, for them to have capitalized on that just a little bit. Gary Oldman is one of my favorite actors. He was so misused in this movie. It's not comical. It was distracting, and I hate her. See how much I am upset by what they didn't do with Gary Oldman in this movie, because he's so good at being an evil Russian prick. Just go watch Air Force One and you'll see what this character should have been. But he was under really, really bad makeup, using a terrible accent, and the dialogue that they had written for him was cringeworthy. It was so bad. That was the worst thing about this movie. And the fact that even Gary Oldman, as magnificent of an actor as he is, could not save what they had given the villain of this movie. It was terrible. Terrible. That being said, I still really, really enjoyed this movie. Other than those couple of things, that being incredibly predictable, not using Elodie Yung to the best of her capabilities, and that god-awful performance. It wasn't the performance. He did the best he could with it, but just the way that they treated the villain in this movie, and the fact that it was Gary Oldman, just still is going to kind of twerk me a little bit. But other than that, go see The Hitman's Bodyguard. I really, really enjoyed it. I give it, 4 out of 5, easy. I'm going to see it again when it comes out, probably next week. Let me know what your thoughts are on The Hitman's Bodyguard. Have you had a chance to go see it yet? Are you planning to go see it? Leave your thoughts down in the comments section below. If you like my review of this movie and you want to see more about the stuff that we're doing, you can subscribe to my channel just by clicking right here, and there's something else fun for you to watch right here, somewhere around that area. In the meantime, I'll be back here breaking down all kinds of cool stuff, trailer reactions, movie reviews, and of course on Sunday nights we do Game of Thrones recaps. So, we will see you back here on the interwebs.